Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mecca Mike back with some more Cowboys news. And today we're going to take a deep dive into what the Dallas Cowboys' recent signings of offensive linemen, and we're going to see what that means going forward into the 2025 draft. So, at first glance, these moves might seem routine. They're depth signings to bolster a unit plagued by inconsistency and injuries. But let's peel back some of the layers. And in doing so, you'll find that there's more to unpack about the confidence or perhaps lack thereof that the Cowboys' new coaching staff has for this current offensive line. So we're going to start with the acquisition of Robert Jones. He stands 6'4", 322 pounds, and he's a versatile interior lineman coming over from Miami. His signing suggests that the Cowboys are genuinely worried about interior stability, especially with the retirement of All-Pro Zach Martin. Last season, Dallas frequently struggled to establish consistent rushing lanes. They averaged just, I would say, about 4 yards per rush attempt, which was bottom of the league in the average. I think it was only Kansas City and the Raiders who were worse than the Cowboys out of 32 teams. So Jones, he's known for his power and his run blocking prowess, but it seems that they brought him in because there's a glaring weakness in that for the Cowboys. And it implies that the new coaching staff under this new leadership, they want immediate upgrades over the current guys like a TJ Bass or a Brock Hoffman, or at least bring in some type of competition to really push these guys internally and really get the best out of who they currently have. So another guy they brought in is a Sadiq Charles. He's standing 6'4", 321 pounds. He's a player whose career thus far has been defined by flashes of talent overshadowed by injuries and inconsistency. They brought in Charles, and it might at first appear risky, but the underlying narrative points towards a coaching staff that's eager for athleticism and potential flexibility on the line. Has experience at both guard and tackle, highlighting a shift towards dynamic, scheme versatile linemen. This strategic pivot strongly indicates that the Cowboys' offensive approach could be more mobile, possibly shifting towards schemes requiring athletic pulls and agile pass protection sets. So more mobile guys, even though you still want the power, but you want guys that cannot just down block. They can shift the line of scrimmage, more of a zone blocking scheme that is going to have a lot more pin and pulling as opposed to, okay, that's your guy, hit him, move him back, and then maybe get the linebacker. So that's Sadiq Charles. Now, the newest member is Hakeem Abedij. I'm probably saying that wrong. Abendiji. Hakeem Abendiji. Stands 6'4", 302 pounds. His acquisition directly signals potential alarm bells about the health and reliability of the Cowboys' current tackles, especially Terrence Steele. I know a lot of people say, oh, they brought in the coaches to make Terrence Steele better, this and that. They're going to adapt his scheme. At the end of the day, Terrence Steele is not a long-term tackle. And coaches can only do so much. You can protect Terrence Steele all you want. You can make things easier for him. The Cowboys, more than likely, after Terrence Steele's contract is up, he's gone. And in the NFL, you need to have tackles. So if you're bringing in one of these guys, you think you found something, you're going to have to make sure that you have this guy's replacement because I really, really doubt they bring back Terrence Steele. Yes, he's a great run blocker. Great. That's good for him. I love that for him. NFL, you need to be able to throw. We've seen too many times if you don't have the ability to protect your quarterback, you could scheme as much as you want. They're going to load the box on you. And then there's going to be times you have to throw. And if they know you're barbecue chicken and I can cook this guy on every third down that you have to throw, I won. So I get why they brought in Hakeem. He spent some time um, with Kansas City. He showcased his ability to handle multiple positions along the offensive line, even stepping in and effectively during critical playoff runs. The coaching staff, the Cowboys coaching staff, they had a proactive approach in signing a Ben DG, who could also mean that their main focus, and I don't blame them, is prioritizing durability and reliability over just raw talent. And it's critical given Dak's recent injury history. So you got to protect your quarterback, and you need guys that are reliable and they can start, and then they know what it's like being out there, as opposed to people with a huge learning curve where you got to really, really teach them a lot to get them to be effectively a starter. But as we can see, collectively, these moves paint a vivid narrative or vivid picture of the new coaching staff's evaluation and the concerns about the offensive line unit. And it's clear as day the minute Zach, because I know Zach Martin, he had his issues. But the minute he retired, I said, there's no way on God's green earth you're going to tell me that, oh, you're okay with Brock Hoffman being starting right guard. Yes, he showed flashes. I'm not giving that from him. I'm not saying that he can't eventually win that spot. But at the end of the day, if you're going to rely on the run, you need to get better in the trenches. And if you don't do that, it's going to spell you trouble because you know who is getting better in the trenches? The NFC East. Teams around you. They're getting better in the trenches. So if you don't compete, if you can't compete or thinking, oh yeah, we had this backup that been sitting out all this time that we didn't want to start him, but oh now because we don't have the guys, you can start now. That's gonna get you beat up, and you don't want to go through that. And the coaches, they do have concerns. It's obvious, and it all this changing around, it clearly signals that there's a departure from previous seasons where same old was prioritized. It's like, oh, we know you, you've been here, we paid you. Let's just keep going forward with you till we're not paying you anymore, which has always been stupid to me, but that's how the Cowboys have done things. Looks like there might be a change, um, but this staff seems to be intent on creating a highly, highly competitive environment, and that's all I care about. And especially, it looks like they're going to be pushing Guyton to either be that guy, prove your worth. Same thing with Terrence Steele. Be that guy, prove your worth, or you're gone. Plain and simple. It's like we're going to see what you guys can do. If you don't show us improvement, we will move on from you. So you got to get better. So simply put, nobody's position seems to be secure. And this competition might be exactly what the Cowboys need, especially for this specific unit. And just considering these pickups, it just seems increasingly clear that the Cowboys' upcoming draft strategy might not lean so much heavily on taking an early round lineman as some analysts had speculated. The addition of Jones, Charles, and Abendeji, it might allow Dallas to pivot towards addressing other glaring needs early in the draft. Obviously, we need depth at defensive tackle. It's a highly deep class. So, more than likely, they're going to double dip on that. They might double dip at running back. It's a deep class. So, a position's going to get pushed down. And it's even seeming more increasingly likely that Cowboys have to go cornerback. They might have to double dip at cornerback or cornerback and safety. Not double dip at safety, but basically DBs. They're going to get two DBs. Either one's a cornerback, one's a safety, or guys that can play both. That's what it looks like. So you have to double dip at D tackle, more than likely, running back, and defensive back. You only have 10 draft picks. Two, four, six. That's six guys. So four more guys to. I still think they'll get an offensive lineman in like the later rounds to someone that can develop. Like I saw Chase Lunt out of UConn. I think that guy could be an easy Terrence Steele replacement. Easily, he has the same size, same athleticism, nasty in the run game. But for me on film, he looks like a better pass blocker. That could be someone you bring in, or you just throw like they're throwing spaghetti at the wall right now with uh these free agents picks. Why not to do the same with the draft? Even undrafted guys, bring these guys in, see what they got, and if they have some potential, put them on the roster. Let them get a year of experience. Let them get a year of the NFL weight room, and even preseason, you might see, okay, this guy, he got something. You never know, and I get it. This approach seems all over the place. They're scattered, throwing stuff at the wall, but you need to improve this group badly. The NFC East, these guys are good. You need to be able to counter them. Tyron Smith retired. Zach Martin retired. You don't have those guys anymore. It's a whole new offensive line. Thankfully, we have Tyler Smith and Cooper Beebe, who are going to be super, super solid. All pros. That's what we already know. Tyler Smith, he's that guy. Beebe will be that guy. But for me, it's just I don't like that the tackles are iffy. That will get your quarterback. It gets his head taken off. I don't like that the tackles are iffy. And people putting all this faith in coaches to fix this, for me, is a little bit crazy. It'd be no different than thinking, oh, this quarterback whisperer coach, he's going to come in and fix this quarterback. But if you need a coach to fix a quarterback, then that coach has to be there forever for that quarterback to be good. That's crazy to me because people are ambitious. So that coach will never always be there. So is the guy good or does he need a scheme in order for him to be good? I want the guy that's good. It doesn't matter what the scheme is. You go out there and play football and you're good. But if you're only good if we do A, B, C, and D, why are you there? Why are you paying this guy all this money if he's a one trick pony that needs to be in a particular scheme to be effective? He could be great in that scheme. But if the coach leaves, is he all of a sudden going to be bad? Because I don't want Clayton Adams to come in. Terrence Steele looks good. Clayton Adams leaves. Then he becomes trash. But during that time, you thought, oh, we can pay him more money because he looked good under better coaches. And Cowboys would do something like that. But again, we're just gonna have to see. But additionally, just all these signs that we've been seeing underscores a significant scheme shift. Like I said, new coaching staff coming in, Schottenheimer, Clayton Adams. It looks like there going to be a more emphasis on versatile, mobile linemen capable of playing multiple positions. Um, and it hints at a more zone heavy run game or an increased reliance on screen passes and quick hitting plays. And that aligns with Dak Prescott. They're trying to limit his hits, capitalize on the athleticism of players like a CD Lamb, Turpin in open space, and then if they get a Matthew Golden or Ted McMillan, you want to let these guys get the ball and take off. Get the ball to them quickly. That's the whole West Coast scheme. But align that with the zone running scheme so you're keeping the defense off kilter. You can't just, oh, let's just run, 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 throw, run, 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 throw, run, 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 throw. It's different if you're moving those guys, but I just didn't like how, well, since we're getting this new identity, it's very different than that lazy power, uh, the power heavy concepts that we saw from Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy didn't try. I just want to run the throw. As in, okay, we'll just throw this play out there. Don't work. Who cares? I'm gonna dial up my comeback routes and have the tight end run to the flats. It didn't work. And this new mindset is what can really, really help the Cowboys become a way, way better team. But ultimately, while these free agent pickups might not grab the headlines, obviously, so most people don't even know that a lot of these guys are on the team. But there, it implies that the Cowboys' offensive approach and draft strategy are changing. The message from the new coaching staff is loud and clear. Adaptability, athleticism, and reliability are the new standards in Dallas. And I still think the coach's approach is similar to what they did with DN last year. What they are trying to do is just throw bodies at a position and hope you find a starter. Hope that you find a Carl Lawson. Hope you find um, what was the other? Well, we had Dante Fowler the year before. He emerged, got better, and then we brought him back. But you were able to find really, really good players by throwing them at a position. I get it, throwing bodies with it, and I'm okay with that strategy if they do it in a smart way. But it looks like the Cowboys are hoping to hit on cheap players. And the hope the coaches that are good, and they hope that the coaches are good enough to see who the better guys are. I still think they get more guys in the draft slash undrafted guys because you need a right guard and tackles too. But you don't have any depth. Well, we have depth, but not depth that's like, oh, 16 games, I'll be good if that guy's starting. But I have faith that if these guys go down, we don't have tackles. And that's the problem. So you gotta get some guys, especially at tackles, that you can develop. Get you a right guard. That's what the Cowboys need to do. So the Cowboys need to find good players that they can rely on quickly, and hopefully these guys can find value in some of these cheap players. That's the hope. That's what they're trying to accomplish. And for me it's still dangerous. I understand why they're doing it, but it's still a dangerous game you're playing. Um, the Cowboys are laying a foundation right now, looks like, designed to protect Dak. But they do that by rejuvenating the ground game and getting the offensive line going in a competitive NFC East. So trench play, especially from the offensive side, is paramount. If they don't get it fixed, we're going to have a lot of issues going into next year. Teams are getting better, and you don't want to be in a position where now you're the team that can't make the playoffs 2 years in a row. You're watching at home. We just saw the NFC East championship game, and then we saw NFC East the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to see that again. And I knew Cowboys, especially the Joneses, they weren't too fond of Mike McCarthy. At this point, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer has to be successful. If Schottenheimer's not successful, then it's going to be the end of Dak. It's going to be the end of CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and it's going to be a whole rebuild. These guys need to be successful. A lot of time was wasted on Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, lackluster coaching, terrible player acquisition. Uh, Jones just did nothing to help Dak. So Schottenheimer and his coaches got to be great. I don't like it, but this is where we are right now. We know Cowboys want to do things as cheap as possible. So the players got to over excel, and so do the coaches. It's as simple as that. Um, I wish I could tell you more fanciful stuff like, oh, well, I have so much faith in the GM, so much faith. I don't know. I don't know till we see the team get out there and they play against other guys. But like I said last year, Dallas is playing a dangerous game. I hope it works. But again, they have to hit on this draft. You're kind of iffy the last two. You don't hit on this draft, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. I promise you that. And you're going to have to hope these coaches are so good because even last year, as bad as Mike McCarthy was, he was two or three calls from being in the playoffs. But again, I don't care about being in the playoffs if you don't do anything. We haven't done anything in a long time because we've always had a glaring hole that can be exploited come playoff time. It just is what it is. So, Cowboys Nation, be ready. We got some interesting things coming before this draft this week. Um, we have new coaches and hopefully a new mindset. So that all we can do right now is hope. We can hope and pray that they don't find a way to mess things up. So, just want to thank you guys for watching. I'm your boy Mecca Mike. Follow the channel for more Cowboys insights and be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for the latest updates in the Dallas Cowboys. And again, for all the socials, it's Mecca Mike. That is Meccha Mike. And I'm out.